speaking of Tim Boyle, I mean, this whole discussion all year has been, wow, if Aaron Rodgers was in as the New York Jets quarterback, this team would be so much better. This is all Zach Wilson's fault. Zach Wilson needs to be fired. He should never be in an NFL team again. And I think we both kind of reached the point where we're like, well, hold on. Maybe it's not all Zach Wilson. Like, he's not perfect, but this O-line is awful. Like, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I might be like, you know what? The old knee, it's not healing right. I might be sitting back, maybe pushing back that return date a little bit, because I don't know that anyone would be successful on this offense. And Tim Boyle struggled. Is this a situation where you've just got two bad quarterbacks? Do you need to go bring in Cam Newton? What are you thinking here?
I think Cam Newton should have been in the building months ago. I mean, this is a situation of bad management. Tim Boyle is not a good quarterback. If you look through his history in the NFL, he's never had a good game. Not one single good game. If you look at college, I think his first year in college, he got, one touchdown and I think 13 interceptions. So even in college, he wasn't a great quarterback. I really don't know how he's in the league right now. And I think for the Jets management, they've reached a position where they've put themselves into a losing team's kind of position, and I think the fault is on the management. In regards to Zach Wilson, I think he would have played this game way better. And to your point about Aaron Rodgers, thankfully he did say he's definitely going to play this season, and he will play as soon as he can, even if the Jets lose every game up until that point. So Aaron Rodgers is, I think, more just he wants to make a point that he is healthy enough, that he is athletic enough to make a historic recovery. So hopefully when Aaron Rodgers comes back, we'll see something different. But for right now, the quarterback room is in shambles. I mean, if it's not for Boyle, then who? Like, who is going to come to the Jets and make the difference here? And why were they not brought onto the team 2 months ago?
I mean, so Zach Wilson wasn't even the backup quarterback today. He was the emergency quarterback. The only way he could go onto the field is if Tim Boyle and Trevor Siemian both got hurt. Zach Wilson, I mean, yes, he's not amazing. Probably not worth the second overall pick. But he played no worse than anyone else we've seen in New York this year. And I think, and me and you talked about this before the game, he has grown a lot this year. And if you go back and watch his last press conference, they try to get him to blame the O-line and blame a bunch of other stuff. And he's like, no, it's on me. And he takes the blame. That's very different from where we saw him a year ago when he was like, no, it's not my fault. Now he's taking all the blame. And I think if anything, you have to say Zach Wilson has grown as a person this year. Maybe he's not your starter. Maybe he's not the future of your franchise. But I don't think anyone can have success in this Jets offense. Is it Nathaniel Hackett?
Oh yeah, I do think coaching and management does have a lot of blame here. I think in benching Wilson as well as benching other players, a lot of that goes onto them. I mean, they took three different players, Uzoma, they took Lazard, they took Wilson. They said we're going to teach them a lesson this week. Well, guess what? You're taking three of your highest paid players and telling them we're going to teach them a lesson this 1 week. This benching should have been done months ago, right? I mean, if you're trying to make a point, make it at the time that's necessary. You're going to wait till 1 week and try to throw all this at the entire team. It's a lot of pressure on everyone else on the team and all the backups, three backups who are now stepping up into starting roles. So it's just really bad management and coaching. In terms of the coaching, I mean, I think Hackett is looking a bit more like Adam Gase, very lethargic, a very pulled back level of offense. I mean, there's one point of the season where my friends and I, we're making jokes about it because every single drive would be run, run, pass. Run, pass, or really run, pass, punt. So it's just not a very good offense you're seeing from Hackett. That's one thing that worries me as a fan of the Jets, where you look at other teams that have dropped their OCs recently. I don't think the Jets will, because Hackett was brought here for one reason, that Aaron Rodgers was in the building, and Aaron Rodgers is still in the building. So unfortunately, I think we're going to deal with a lot more of Hackett rather than getting rid of him like we should.
Do you honestly believe, though, that Aaron Rodgers is going to come in and win games behind that O-line? Because I think the O-line is the main issue. And I'm Joe Tippmann was one of my favorite draft prospects. And there were a couple times where he got beat today. And the O-line just in general has been awful all season. So, I mean, Aaron Rodgers isn't a mobile guy.
Yeah, but
What do you?
Aaron Rodgers is very good at reading the field, and I think Aaron Rodgers also he knows how to organize the field. With Boyle and Wilson, they're not very good at telling players what to do. If you look at Aaron Rodgers before any sort of play, just look back to any of his plays last season. You see him, he's telling, okay, you go up here, you run a go route, you run this. He's
Mhm.
changing the plays. He knows how to read the field very well. So when you're talking about these fast rushers coming in, you're talking about these quick passes going out. That is what Aaron Rodgers is very good at. And the two teams we're going up against, where I think we're going to see Rodgers in the last 2 weeks of the season, are the Patriots, who this style of football will work great against. I think Aaron Rodgers can definitely beat the Patriots, which will be the first win since I was in middle school. And the other game is against the Browns, right? And the Browns have a very good defense. That's the one I'm really nervous about because the Browns, they know how to get after the quarterback. So if Rodgers, who is known for reading the field, one of the best to ever throw a football in the NFL, I think there's no question about it. I think he's going to at least improve our chances of winning these games. And Rodgers also has an effect on the locker room. I imagine the rest of that defense, the rest of the offense are going to seem way more, up to the level at that point in the season. I think Rodgers also has a really good connection with Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson and Lazard, so three of your best offensive pieces, two of them who are real, threats to the opposing team's defense. Having a better connection between the quarterback and Hall and Wilson, I think that's also a game changer.
Thanks for watching that video, guys. If you want to check out a most recent full episode of No Buts About It, that's going to be right over here. Yep, right there. Check that out. And if you just want to see more short clips, we're going to have one right over here for you to watch. Check out No Buts About It on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts so you can listen to us on the go. Once again, have a great day and go do something nice for someone.